Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video, and we have another winter storm to talk about. The first winter storm of 2023, since this storm will be happening mostly after midnight tonight. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone, and for all of you hoping to ring in the bell on a high note, got a winter storm to deal with. This is Winter Storm Hudson, and it will be marching from the western U.S. into the northern plains and upper Midwest throughout the first full week of 2023. Starting off with the Weather Channel page, we have our headline here: New Year's winter storm to spread from California to plains and upper Midwest. At a glance, a winter storm tapping an atmospheric river of moisture will hit California this weekend. It could produce flooding rainfall in addition to heavy Sierra snow. This system could turn into a snowstorm for parts of the plains and upper Midwest to begin the first full week of 2023. And this storm has been named Winter Storm Hudson by the Weather Channel. So today we're going to be talking about the western part of this storm, since that is what's going on currently, and we still have all of the details for the central part of this storm system that will be coming out later in the day, probably on Sunday or Monday. So right now we do have an atmospheric river of moisture moving into California with heavy rainfall in the San Francisco area, snowfall in the Sierra Nevadas including South Lake Tahoe and Truckee, California, maybe even some mixed precipitation there in Reno as well. We do have some alerts, flood warnings, flash flood watches across much of California, especially in the lower lying areas of California and some portions of Nevada, since California and Nevada don't typically get this much rainfall in this short of a period of time. Here's the additional snow and rain through Sunday. You can see in terms of snowfall here, we have three big winners. The Sierra Nevadas getting at least 2 feet of snowfall in many of those areas. We also have eastern Nevada with a widespread area of a foot plus, and then we have just southeast of Salt Lake City in Utah, much of the area getting at least 1.5 feet of snowfall, if not more. So let's move on here to our NWS hazards. So you can see here our flash flood watches, and flood warnings here in these greens, mostly the coastline of California, tapping into that atmospheric river that we were talking about. Now, let's go into our winter alerts, and I'm just going to draw a boundary here, the Rocky Mountain states and west. So, winter storm warnings in portions of California, Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, and Arizona. We have winter weather advisories in California, Nevada, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, and even a little portion of Washington in there, and winter storm watches in portions of Colorado, Wyoming, and New Mexico. So here is our winter storm severity index. So we have our different colors here, which indicate the overall impacts of this winter storm, especially in these western states. Starting off here with this light blue color. If you're in this light blue color, you're going to be seeing limited impacts from this storm. Maybe a little bit of snow, but not much to really heavily impact travel. In this yellow color here, which includes portions of the Denver metropolitan area, as well as portions of the Salt Lake City metropolitan area, you have minor impacts incoming. Now, this could be a decent amount of snowfall, but not a lot to really create mass havoc on the region, but could cause a little bit of difficulty in either morning commutes, afternoon commutes. Just not a perfect scenario, but it is manageable. Then in orange here we have our moderate impacts. This includes a lot of the upper elevations of Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, even down into Nevada, and some areas of California, but we'll get to more of California a bit later. Moderate impacts could see some very slick roads, maybe, slow down on the roads if you're going out in this storm. Could see a lot of car accidents, especially in some of these areas where you could be seeing those heavier snow totals. In red, we have our major impacts. These are areas that could be seeing increased visibility drops, could be seeing a lot more of those potentials for pileups on the roads. So really watch out and advise not to go out in that very bad wintry weather if you are in those reds. And finally, purples. That is where the Sierra Nevadas come into play. That's where portions of Utah and Wyoming come into play. We're going to be seeing multiple feet of snow. You could be seeing very slick road conditions where the crews just can't keep up with the increased snowfall in the region. So this is the area where you definitely do not want to go out on the roads. You want to stay home, stay safe, and only go out on the roads if you absolutely have to. Otherwise, stay off those roads. So we're going to be looking at the H Triple R here, and you can see that atmospheric river of moisture moving into the San Francisco Bay Area. And actually, let's move into the southwest U.S. just to get a closer view of these impacts here. So here we have our atmospheric river of moisture, and you can see here I have to calculate for Pacific time. I don't live on the West Coast, so it's a little difficult for me. So this is around 10 a.m. Saturday, and I'm filming this around 2, so let's go here, 3 p.m. You can see our low pressure system right on the border of California and Nevada. So you can see that heavy snowfall here, especially in that Lake Tahoe, Truckee area. So definitely watch out if you're in these areas. That could be some regions where you see those reduced visibilities, whiteout conditions. Now, you can see here a lot of those yellows. Those are intense rainfall rates, and that's all moving into the Sierra Nevadas, especially with that rain shadow effect, where all that moisture pushes into the mountain areas, and it kind of gets trapped by those mountains. So the moisture stays on one side of the mountains, and the interior, especially in Nevada, gets a lot less of that precipitation. But you can see here, northern Nevada getting a lot of moderate to heavy snowfall. At this point, this is right around 3 p.m. still. You can see Salt Lake City, maybe even into the Denver area, getting light snow. So we are now right around 6 p.m. This is Pacific time. And you can see that this moisture is shifting to the south, getting closer to the Los Angeles area for those heavy rainfall rates. So seeing a lot of those yellows start to pick up just the north and west of Los Angeles, such as Santa Barbara, getting into Bakersfield as well. And you can still see those heavy snowfall rates in the Sierra Nevadas, in the northern part of Nevada itself, but starting to see some of those rates pick up in Utah and Colorado as well. Oh, let's see here. We're going to have to come back to this, I guess. Here we go. Okay, so let's move on here to 9 p.m. And we have, at this point, things are starting to ramp down in the Sierra Nevadas, but things are starting to pick up in the state of Nevada, as well as Utah, Colorado, and we're actually going to zoom out at this point. We're going to go out back to the continental U.S., and we're going to look at the entire picture of this storm system. So at this point, you can see Idaho starting to tap into some of that moisture as well. And we're going to have to reset this again. Pivotal weather's kind of acting up today, guys. Sorry about that. Let's actually move on here. So, moving on to midnight, ringing in the new year. And you can see here the areas right around San Diego and Los Angeles getting those heavier rainfall rates. So, maybe as you're ringing in the new year, it will be a little bit wet outside, which is kind of Strange for California, don't typically get a lot of rain there, but we have been seeing this atmospheric river event dump a lot of rainfall on California, and that drought relief is definitely very positive. And we can see here that snow is starting to push into Wyoming, Idaho, especially into Nevada, but Utah and Colorado definitely not left out at this point. So this is 6 a.m. You can see that heavier rainfall actually moving through Las Vegas, and that heavier snowfall moving through central Nevada, the Salt Lake City area, up towards Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we're starting to see some flurries in the Denver area. And this is noon time on Sunday, Pacific time, and you can see that the storm kind of lacking a little bit of moisture, especially moving through the Rocky Mountains, can't tap into the Pacific, but a decent amount of snowfall still falling there. Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, you're going to be getting a lot of snowfall. It's just going to be coming at a very long period of time. So a lot of light to moderate snowfall over a longer period of time. So now we got, this is right around 6 p.m. on Sunday. At this point, you can see some snow actually reaching all the way into New Mexico, as well as that increased snowfall threat in Wyoming and Utah. And then we have midnight Monday morning. You can see this is really when Denver starts to tap into some of that moderate to heavy snowfall. Salt Lake City starting to wrap things up a little bit. Wyoming still getting some snowfall there. But things starting to wrap up in the west. And at this point, we start to move into, this is right around 7 a.m. Eastern time, we start to see this storm start to move into the plains, and that is where we're going to stop, and we're going to move on to our total precipitation. You can see here that most of the moisture is going to be in California, regions such as San Diego getting close to an inch, Los Angeles getting close to an inch, San Francisco could be getting close to 2 inches of rainfall, but the real winner is the Sierra Nevadas because of that rain shadow effect, getting closer to 3 or 4 inches of overall moisture. Northern Nevada getting 1 to 2 inches of moisture, and the upper elevations east of Salt Lake City getting 2 to 3 inches of moisture as well. Then we have our snowfall. You can see here, let's actually zoom on into the southwest U.S., where we are going to have a lot of those increased snowfall rates. You can see portions of Sierra Nevada is getting close to 5 or 6 feet of snowfall, but areas around Lake Tahoe getting at least a foot, if not 2 feet of snowfall. We have portions of northeast Nevada getting a foot to 2 feet of snow. We have Utah is going to be getting a surprisingly high amount of snowfall with a widespread area here. I think this is the, I'm going to butcher this really badly, but I think it is the Uinta Mountains, getting at least 2 to 3 feet of snowfall, areas of, I think it's the, these names are really hard, but I'm going to try and get it through. I think this is, the Wasatch Range getting at least a foot to 2 feet of snowfall as well. So the big winners here, we have Sierra Nevadas, Northeast Nevada, state of Nevada, as well as the higher elevations of Utah getting those increased snowfall amounts. Now, in different ways, the Sierra Nevadas are going to be getting a lot of that heavy snowfall, and this atmospheric river is going to be shifting from the top to the bottom of this map and just going to be dumping snowfall. Now, northeast Nevada is going to be seeing some consistent moderate snowfall, whereas Utah is going to be seeing a long period of light snowfall with some moderate to heavy snowfall mixed in at times. So there's 3 different ways to get really high snow amounts in these states. So here is the Weather Prediction Center's rendition of the snow totals. This is the 50th percentile of snow accumulations. So this is their best guess here. And you can see our clear winner is the Sierra Nevadas where they have some areas of the southern Sierra Nevadas, just to the east of Modesto, getting close to that 3 to 3.5 foot range. So the Sierra Nevada is definitely getting a lot of snowfall here. Now, in general, if you were in these blues, that is 6 to 15 inches of snowfall. These purples are 15 to 24 inches of snowfall, and this maroon and red color is 24 to 33 inches, and those orange, of course, above 33 inches, and that is just in the Sierra Nevadas. But again, same hotspots here. You have Northeast Nevada getting at least a half a foot. Utah getting at least a foot to 2 feet in some spots. Wyoming, you could see up to 2 feet. Portions of the Front Range in Colorado could see a foot to 2 feet of snowfall. So overall, just a enhanced snowfall risk in the Rocky Mountains, which is great just to get that snowpack in now, especially in areas that really need it. The West has been through a long period of drought, so to get all this moisture all at once is definitely going to be beneficial, but will have some costs, especially maybe some mudslides, especially in California with an increased amount of rainfall. But that is all the information I have for today. If you found this video informative, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.